Summer is a great time for you to enjoy your favorite music, and in fact, that's kind of why we call them summer jams. And what better way to celebrate that fact than to go to actual concerts in the summer? That's what I've been doing these past few months, and in this episode of Squeaky Jams, we're going to be covering a few of those. It's going to be a little bit different, no albums, no specific tracks, just my concert experiences in summer. So let's go. Welcome to Squeaky Jams. So there are three shows in specific that I want to mention in this episode, but the first one that I'm going to talk about is actually the most recent show I went to. That is Janelle Monáe's Dirty Computer Tour right here in Miami. This is the first Janelle Monáe show that I have ever been to. In fact, it was held right here in Miami Beach at the Fillmore, which is one of my favorite venues of all time. Partially because it's a nice venue, but also partially because it's my home venue. I've been to a lot of shows there, so going there is always a little sentimental. My goal whenever I go to a show is to make it to the front of the general admission area, right by the railing. And that's pretty close to where I got to this time. Around 3 rows back from the railing, I stood there, watched the opener, enjoyed it, and waited for Janelle to come on. When she finally did, she made quite the first impression. They wheeled what seemed to be her out on this slab. It's very similar to the first opening scenes in the Dirty Computer film. I do not think that was actually her though, because once they wheeled it off, she came out on stage fairly quickly. So either she hopped out of that thing real fast and changed, or it was just, a prop. Most of the set list was comprised of Dirty Computer tracks, which is to be expected because this is the Dirty Computer Tour. What was surprising was that almost every song on the album was played. I think only 2 songs, maybe 1 or 2 songs weren't played from Dirty Computer, which is cool. I kind of like that. As much as I enjoy artists mixing in their new stuff and their old stuff, I appreciate it when their new tours are mostly filled with all the new stuff, because that's the stuff that's freshest in my memory. We started off with Crazy Classic Life, which is just a song that really pumps you up. It's an amazing opener, especially when that chorus hits. Of course, she also played Pink, and all her dancers came out wearing the pants that they wore in the Pink music video. And as if Pink wasn't already subtle enough, Janelle somehow made it even less subtle by just, licking her fingers and doing a motion from bottom to top, just right there in front of everybody right at the end of the song. I didn't get that on video, but it's somewhere on the internet, I'm sure. You can go find that.
Let's count the ways we could make this last forever. Honey, keep it funky, touch it, pop it, let it down.
And she ended her set with Americans, which is one of the best tracks on that album. Like I mentioned in the previous video, that song is a scathing look at America, and it is just so powerful when hearing it live. But even after all that, I think the main highlight of that show for me was during I Got the Juice. Janelle looked into the crowd and picked out a few people to come on stage with her. Each person got some time in the spotlight to just dance like there was no one watching. Or in fact, hundreds of people watching, but that's beside the point. They were encouraged to just let loose and go all out. I really wanted to showcase everyone at least a little bit in this video, but I couldn't because at some point my phone flew out of my hand and I missed recording one person because of it. It was a great time. I encourage anyone to go see her live when they can. Now, on to the next show is one of 2 shows that I saw in New York earlier a couple months ago. This one is one of my favorite bands of all time. This is my second time seeing them. It's Radiohead. Radiohead doesn't tour as often anymore, which is why I try my best to go see them whenever I can. My first time was here in Miami at the American Airlines Arena. This time was in New York at Madison Square Garden. Well, this isn't my first time at the Madison Square Garden venue, this was my first time in the arena. I had been there before for a different show at the Madison Square Garden Theater. The crowd was very chill, but not in a bad way. There was definitely an energy there, but just not one where you would be seeing people jumping up and down and dancing. Everyone was in the moment, enjoying what was in front of them. This was one of 4 shows they had at MSG, so the set list was pretty different for each show. There were things in this set that I did not expect to hear, like Videotape, which in fact, when it came on, I started crying a little bit.
This is my way out, saying goodbye. 'Cause I can't do it face to face. I'm talking to you before. No matter what happens now, you shouldn't be afraid. 'Cause I know today has been the most perfect day I've ever seen.
As chill as the crowd was at that show, there was a moment where there was a big, loud "fuck Trump" chant because Tom York happened to mention him before one of the songs. I don't remember if it was Idiotech or the national anthem, but it happened and it was pretty awesome. Speaking of Idiotech, that is another one of my favorite songs and I am so happy they played it.
I say it's coming, I say it's coming. Let me hear both sides, let me hear both sides, let me hear both sides. I say it's coming, I say it's coming. Going on the fire, going on the fire, going on the wind. I'm still wondering if there's anything happening, happening. We're still wondering if there's anything happening, happening. More of us working, more of us dripping. Anything, take the money and run, take the money and run, take the money.
I don't have much else to say about this show because it's just one of those things where you want to just be in the moment and revel in it and just have it wash over you. That's what a Radiohead show is to me, and that's what I hope it continues to be for me for the years to come because I want to see them multiple times in the future. So because of that, I'll just play a couple more clips of some of the songs I recorded. Take a look.
This been a broken mind. Clock was starting. It just crawled used to listen to me. In a fast German car, I remain last alive. Never says but in an interesting mind, I'm back to sing the
I'm just so happy I was able to go to that show, especially at MSG. I've been wanting to go to a show at MSG for a long time now, and to make that show be a Radiohead show is extra special. Now, on to the next and final concert I'm going to be talking about today. This is actually a concert that I flew to New York specifically to see along with Radiohead. It happened the day right after Radiohead, and it's a pretty different show. It was Hatsune Miku.
I'm thinking
Yeah, going to go see Radiohead one night and then going to see Hatsune Miku the next is quite a change of pace, especially for someone like me who's not really that big of a Miku fan. Okay, I know the evidence is stacked up against me, but it's true, I really didn't know much about Miku. The whole reason I have any of these figures is because I like her as a character. I think she looks really cool and her hair's one of my favorite colors. But I do have a passing interest in the idea and concept of Vocaloids. So much so that when I heard there was going to be a Miku concert in America, I felt like I needed to see that firsthand in person. So that's exactly what I did. I bought a ticket for general admission because if I was going to see that show, I was going to see it on the floor, and honestly, it was really cool. The show was at Hammerstein Ballroom, and I was actually hit with a lot of surprises throughout the show. Surprise number one, the line was long, as in it circled the block long. It was longer than Radiohead's line long. So long that I'm pretty sure by the time I got into the venue, the opener had already played, because I did not see Anamanaguchi there at all. I was definitely nowhere near close to the rail, which was a bit of a bummer. I was pretty much at the back of the venue. I was able to squeeze myself a little bit closer to the center, but it was still further away than I would have liked. But it seemed like anywhere you were in that venue, you were having at least a good time because that crowd was wild. Going into the show, I really only knew about 2 Miku songs beforehand. One was because it was featured in an ad for an Nendoroid. And the other because it was the main theme for the Miku Expo 2018, which I of course heard before going to the show. It's a good song, honestly, I really like it. They played it near the end of the show, and I made sure to record a bit of it because it was really, really catchy. But like I said, there were some other surprises in this show besides the crowd of people. The other was that there was more than one Vocaloid there to sing. It wasn't just Miku, there was a handful of other people. There was this yellow Miku who was singing and then turned into a boy, I thought, but turns out it's actually just her and her twin. And then there's this pink one, which I think her name is Luca? I think that one is the one I only heard of before, and people went fucking insane for her. Like, batshit crazy. I did not expect that at all at a Miku show. I would think that Miku would be the one getting the most praise, but it was actually pretty tied with this Luca girl. I don't know the names of these tracks, so I can't pinpoint the specific ones, but I can say that some of my favorite tracks from the set were actually the ones that were really energetic and bumping, and the ones that were also really quiet and kind of emotional, I think, if I were to like read off the people in the crowd, which was, again, another surprise. I expected a lot of it to be kind of this exciting synth music, and a lot of it was, but there's also these moments of calm. This entire show kind of felt like a fever dream at some point. Songs I don't know in a language I don't understand, with anime holograms just dancing away. It was a hell of an experience. But there you go. That's it for what my summer concerts have been. I'm excited to see a few more concerts later this year. Don't know exactly which ones are going to be. I have one planned, but I'm hoping there's another couple shows to be announced later in the year. Things like Churches, or maybe another national show in October that's happening in New York. Maybe I find my way over there. I'm not exactly sure, but I am excited to go see more shows. Live concerts are my favorite thing in the world, and I hope you guys can enjoy those too. But remember, wear your earplugs because there is a lot of noise and you don't want to damage your hearing. Anyway, thanks for watching. This has been Squeaky Jams. Follow me on Twitter. I'm at Pariah Dark. You can also follow Squeaky Whale at Squeaky Whale or at The Squeaky Whale. And of course, like and subscribe here on YouTube. That's it. See you guys next time.